Hi, I'm Miss Sasseville. Tonight I'm going to show you how to make your own ice cream cake out of ice cream sandwiches. So here is what you're going to need to make your ice cream sandwich ice cream cake. First you're going to need a 9x13 pan. I'm using glass because it's nice to see exactly what's in there, but you could also use a metal one or you could use a disposable one if you wanted. You're going to need a pack of ice cream sandwiches. I happen to get salted caramel just because I thought they would be tasty. You want to have 11 or 12 of them, so we're probably going to use most of those. You also need a pack of mini chocolate chips, a pack of toffee bits. You need some frozen whipped topping, but you want to thaw it first. So these have been thawed. And then you also want some hot fudge sauce and some caramel sauce. And I actually, before this, heated both of those up and then put knives in them to make sure, and I stirred them around to make sure they were good and they were not super hard so that they'll pour out and spread easily. So I do have 2 knives there, and then I have one more that we're going to use to cut up the ice cream sandwiches. I forgot, you also need some foil. Okay, first thing you want to do is you want to open this up and take out some ice cream sandwiches and unwrap them. You want to take them all out and unwrap them and put them in the bottom of the pan. And just kind of line them up. I'll show you what it looks like when I've got them all unwrapped. Okay, so here's what this looks like when you fit all of the ice cream sandwiches into the bottom of the pan. And what I did, I used actually 11 out of 12. The last couple I had to cut into small pieces using my knife in order to fit them along the edge here. And it's not perfect, but it worked out pretty well. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour about half the hot fudge on top of the ice cream sandwiches and spread it out. This can be a little tricky because it's a little bit warm and it will take the top layer off of the ice cream sandwiches if you if you spread it too hard. So I'm going to just be kind of careful here. And maybe what I will do after a while is I'm actually going to use my rubber scraper because this does this a little better. Okay, so yeah, I spread this fairly evenly over the ice cream sandwiches. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing but with the caramel. I'm going to pour out about half of the caramel. This spreads a little better. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my rubber scraper to smooth that over the ice cream sandwiches as evenly as possible. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid off one of the whipped toppings and I'll just take my rubber scraper, and it's a lot. I'm going to smooth it all out here on top of the caramel and chocolate mixture. Okay, so the whipped toppings on there, and now I opened my mini chocolate chips and my toffee bits. I'm gonna sprinkle some of each over the top of this. Woo! Comes out fast, doesn't have to be perfect. seems pretty good. All right, pretty good. Okay, and we're gonna actually do the last 3 steps. We're gonna repeat them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to our hot fudge, pour out as much as we can. I don't know, I think I accidentally used a little more than half last time, but I'm gonna pour out as much as I can. Might be kind of tricky. Okay, so I got that out of there, and this is dirty, but I'm just gonna go ahead and spread that around again and try and make it as even as possible. It's kind of messy, oops. That's okay though. Okay, and now we're gonna add as much of the caramel. This is a lot of caramel. Maybe we don't need to use all of it. We're gonna add a bunch more caramel, spread that around. Okay, so we spread that around, and I grabbed my rubber scraper and I washed it off because I want this last layer to look pretty. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna open my other whipped topping, and I probably will not use all of it, but I'll just put some of it out on top, and I'm gonna try and spread it, and maybe I will use most of it. I want it to be as clean looking as possible, so not much of the brown showing. So I'll do my best to kind of cover that up. Okay, so I did that as best I could, and the last step is to add some more chocolate chips and toffee over the top. So I'm gonna try and do that evenly. Goes without saying, this is a very sugary dessert, so don't have too much at once. Oops. Okay, and I'm gonna grab a big strip of foil, cut it off, and very carefully put this on top. I don't want to push down on the cake part, or on the whipped cream and chocolate and stuff too much, because I don't want to wreck it. But I do want to cover it, so that's pretty good. Got it all covered. Okay, and the very last step was I stuck it in the freezer for at least 4 hours, or I'm gonna stick it in the freezer for at least 4 hours. Go ahead and shut the door. Okay, it's been over 4 hours, so I'm gonna look into my freezer and see how this is doing. Ooh, it's very cold. Pull it out, bring it to the counter. I carefully took the foil off, and here it is. It looks good, I think. It's very, very cold, and it's pretty solid, so I'm going to grab a pretty sharp knife and make a cut in there. But yeah, it cuts out pretty nice, actually. And I'll just cut it into kind of even pieces. I cut it into about 12 pieces. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take one out and put it on a plate just to try it. Here's what it looks like on a plate. You can kind of see the layers on the very bottom as the cookie sandwich, and then in the middle you can kind of see the layers of the caramel and chocolate, and the toppings here, and the whipped topping. I'm going to grab a fork and try a bite of this thing. Here we go. Got mostly the top. That's really good though. And try and go for the bottom here. Here we go. I got some of the ice cream sandwich on the bottom. That is really good.